all the things that you perceive are a result of a past action. Karma translates most directly to action. So there's this law of karma that says that if there's an action, there's an effect. Every action or every effect has a cause, right? That's simply because we define action as something that acts on something else. Yeah. So the way we are built up is out of the proteins and the DNA and the tissues and the organs and the cells. But those are all built up of past actions and interactions of molecules and of bigger systems that we don't even understand. But also all the stuff that happened to us in our past, it influences who we perceive ourselves as. Actually, most of your personality might just be because of what you experienced in your past. So all the actions you take now are sort of a result of past actions that you either took yourself or someone else has taken for you. Maybe heard of good karma and bad karma. You do something good happens to you. And if you do something bad, be sure that you'll receive something bad. Karma in the dharmic religions, you would have like good actions, such as not harming someone, or bad actions, such as lying. But those are all subjective, right? Sometimes we need to lie to achieve a greater good. And even something that everyone would consider bad, some people might consider good. Every action or every karma is subjective, right? It's agnostic to some idea of good or evil because, well, given that our judgments of what happens to us, it's what's really keeping us attached, right? If we're dreaming and something is happening that I find really important, like, oh, I have to pack my bag, and I keep looking for stuff, right? I'm attaching that I need to pack this bag, but maybe I don't need to. And once I realize that I don't need to, I can wake up. So maybe in life, there's something happens to me. There's a trauma here, and I identify with it. Like I dropped a stone on my foot, and now I identify, oh, I hurt my toe. Instead of introducing myself as Joey, I'll introduce myself as, oh yeah, I hurt my toe. Hi. So I pick up that stone, put it in my backpack, and carry it around for the rest of my life. So the dharmic religions find a way to not identify with what happened to us in our past, or what happened maybe even to us in our past lives. Past lives, or let's say reincarnation in 2 weeks. Yeah. This is still relatively non-religious, more philosophical. Wherever it does get religious, or I'm not trying to convert you to anything. This is just hopefully it gets you stronger in your own faith. Yeah. Jainism is a very interesting religion. So let's say you live before a time of Jesus in another continent, and you need to deal with your issues, your sins, your karma yourself. Well, instead of getting them absolved, you might not make any karmas, right? The Jainist, the monks that are really like deep into it, they'll sweep the floor before they walk there, so they don't step on any bugs. Yeah? They go to extremes to not make any bad karma for anyone else, because the action you do also reflects back on you, because you were identified with someone that would take an action like that. Now, if that's a very harmful action, then that might spook in your mind a long time, and that might make it hard to meditate, because whenever you meditate, that thought pops up. Whenever a thought pops up, an emotion pops up. And emotion is actually embodied. It's hormones, it's sympathetic activation. If I'm always scared, I'm going in, right? If I'm living like this always, my tissues get stuck like this. And then when I open them up, then I'll feel it, right? Because then I'm releasing that emotion, I'm facing what I've been hiding from. So Jainists have a very interesting belief. I believe you can just pick and choose what you, out of religions, what you believe in, what you like. The Jainists believe that karma has a physical manifestation. So it's not just this idea of, yeah, like you can talk about it in laws and logic or ideas or dogma, but karma, in the form of samskaras, are imprints on your body. So you experience something, you do an action repeatedly, it forms a pattern in your mind, it forms a pattern in your neurons. If you hold an emotion often and it brings you to a certain position, your fascia starts tangling and adhering in certain ways that match that mental representation. Right? They go together. Associative memory. So past actions leave imprints on you, not just in this mental realm, but because they're in this mind realm, they have to have the parallel of the body as well. Now in yoga, we work with the body. This is where it starts connecting. The Jainists, they don't pick up any new rocks. Buddhists, and I'm not saying Jainists don't do this, Buddhists focus more on meditation. So we did this focusing on this point here with detail. If you can feel the tiniest little point, feel whatever samskara is at that little point, because it's so tiny, even though the emotion is so big, the trauma is so big, because you're focusing on such a tiny point, you can hold it all together. And because you can hold it in this full picture, it's easier to let it go, to get the rock out. So in Buddhist meditation, sometimes, vipassana, you'd go all around your body, scanning layer by layer, the tiniest spots, noticing where you're confused, where your mind is confused by what your body is experiencing. And then it goes there and it notices that there's a change. Oh, sometimes it feels good when I'm here. Sometimes it feels bad when I'm here, right? So when you access that and you notice that change, you realize the impermanence and the imprint not necessarily being, when you realize it changes, there's no reason to hold on to it because you know that everything is impermanent. So why would you attach judgment or hold on to it? Do it for your full body, and then you don't have any rocks, right? And then you don't have any traumas that bother you. If you don't have any past actions that bother you, you stop losing identity. Yeah. But that's really hard to do because that's a lot of effort to focus on your body that in much detail. But yoga, we learn how to control our body. We learn how to feel our body. We breathe. So we learn how to be aware of our body and as it changes with the breath. In addition to not harming anyone, to knowing ourselves and knowing what patterns we act out of. Right? So that's our 4 lower limbs. And then the higher limbs are more techniques to meditate. Questions on that? I felt that was kind of clear. Yeah, that's karma. Karma is such a cool thing. Well, so the karmic cycle is one of suffering, yeah? But it's only suffering as long as you hold the perspective that you're trapped in it. Once you look an outside perspective on the karmic cycle, then it's like a God view over your life, and there's no emotion attached to it.